what are called Yavana. Yavana means those who are not coming from the Vedic culture, those who are outside of Vedic culture, those who are meat eaters, etc. Like the Muslims. The Muslims are called Yavana, also Mlecha. So the foreign, just listen, sleep. So the foreign countries invaded India, and the Muslims especially, they tried to destroy all the temples, all the sacred temples in India. Very extremely demonic. So havoc all over India, and they tried to come also to South India. They got a certain distance, but they were not able to conquer various parts of South India. And also here in Orissa, the kings here ruling at that time, they were very powerful, Kshatriya kings, and they were great, great devotees of Lord Jagannath. So they protected Jagannath. Sometimes actually Lord Jagannath had to be moved. He didn't always stay in the temple. Sometimes at different times when they were attacking, Jagannath was actually relocated in different places. So Jagannath Dev has been in this temple for thousands and thousands of years. Actually, the temple dates back millions of years to the time of Satya Yuga. I don't know if you heard on this parikrama yet the history of how Jagannath appeared to King Indradumna Maharaj. So that pastime we will hear another time. But the great kings here of Orissa, they've always protected the deities and the temples of Orissa. So this ancient temple of Lord Jagannath, they established a very strict rule at that time that no foreigners, they would be allowed to come in the temple because they could not be trusted. They could not be trusted. Maybe they would try to destroy the deity, etc. So for the safety of the temple and the deity, this rule was established. Now, 500 years ago, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came here, you know that the Muslims, they were ruling India at that time. And you know the personal associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like Srila Rupa Goswami, Srila Sanatana Goswami, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur, all of them, like Haridas Thakur was born in a Muslim family, and Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, they became closely, intimately associated with the Muslims. Therefore, they lost their Brahminical standing in society. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually, he rescued them and established them in the highest position of Vaishnavata, Vaishnava culture. So there, of course, Maha Bhagwat, Namacharya Haridas Thakur. Who is he? Actually, he's Lord Brahma himself, coming down in this world, but taking birth in very humble, very low position like Muslim, taking birth in meat-eating family like this, actually to purify them. But also, he prayed for this in his previous life as Brahmaji, when he stole Krishna's calves and his cowherd boys in Braj. He tried to play a trick on Krishna like this. And then he was defeated by Krishna's divine potency. Then he came into the forest and met Krishna in a solitary place and offered so many prayers. But he also felt very bad at that time. So he prayed that he could have Krishna's mercy come on him. Then he went to Sri Navadvip Dham. In our Navadvip Dham parikrama, we just heard this pastime narrated by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Navadvip Dham Mahatmya, actually spoken by Nityananda Prabhu, that Brahmaji came and did so many austerities on the banks of the Ganga in Navadvip Dham. This was thousands of years ago before Gauranga Mahaprabhu appeared. And he prayed, he felt so bad at that time, he did not want to become influenced by any false ego, meaning that, oh, I am Brahma, I'm the creator of this world, I'm all-powerful, all-knowledgeable. He did not want to have this mentality and mood. So he prayed that he could take birth in a very lowly position. And then Gauranga Mahaprabhu appeared to him, there in Navadvipta, and gave him the benediction, yes, by my mercy you will come as Namacharya Haridas Thakur. And you will take birth in Muslim family, and you will always chant the holy names of Krishna. So we already went there to the Siddha Bakul, the very place where Srila Haridas Thakur was constantly living there. But Haridas Thakur, because of the social customs at that time, and because he had been born in a Muslim family, he did not want to disturb, the rules of the Jagannath temple. And therefore, he very happily, he never went inside of the Jagannath temple, not one time. He always stayed at Siddha Bakul, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would come there every day and give his darshan to Haridas Thakur. And who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He's Jagannath himself. He's Krishna himself. So Haridas Thakur showed that example. And also Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, when they came here to Jagannath Puri, even though they were born in very high Brahmin families, and they were pure Vaishnavas, but because of the customs of that time, they did not interfere. They never also went inside of the Jagannath temple. These are our greatest acharyas. So they showed us the example not to disturb the rules of Jagannath. Because actually Lord Jagannath, everything is happening here by his will. And we cannot actually know his will. What is his desire? What is his will? Lord Jagannath appeared to the Shabara community. He was taking care of the community of very low-class people at that time. That is his desire, his will, when he was Nila Madhava. Then later he appeared as Jagannath Dev. So when Srila Gurudev was here, he told us, when we were coming to the Jagannath temple from Tota Gopinath, and we passed by this one Lokanath Mahadev, this temple. And also they don't allow the Westerners in there. So Gurudev went down into the temple with the other Indian devotees, and we stayed up. And so we were feeling, we can't go with Gurudev. But actually when Gurudev came back up to the top, then he stood with us. Like we're sitting here now, Gurudev sat with us. And he gave a very nice, very encouraging speech to us, all the Westerners. And he said, actually, Lord Jagannath is more merciful to those who cannot go inside of the Jagannath temple. Yes, and Lord Jagannath gives his darshan in the front of the temple. When you go to the Singha Dwara gate, many hundreds of years ago, Lord Jagannath came as Patita Pavana Jagannath. He personally came out to the front of the temple to give his darshan to one great devotee who was born in Salbeg, and he was born from Muslim birth. So that great devotee Jagannath himself came to see him, and he was there in the front gate. So since that time, they have installed a murti of Jagannath in the front gate. When you look inside of this is called the Singha Dwara gate. Singha means lion. So that lion gate is the main front entryway to the Jagannath temple. We will go there after this, and we'll begin our kirtan and circumambulate the temple from that point of the Singha Dwara gate. So Lord Jagannath is permanently situated there. You will see also that even the residents of Jagannath Puri, many of them, they don't go inside of the temple every day, but they come, they take off their shoes, they pay pranams, they pray to Lord Jagannath, who is there in the doorway. You can see him there. And his name is Patita Pavana. What does that mean? The Savior and the Purifier of the fallen souls. So we are all fallen souls. Srila Haridas Thakur was so humble. His humility broke the heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Even when Haridas Thakur came here the first time to Jagannath Puri, and all the other Vaishnavas had also come from Bengal, they were coming for the Rath Yatra festival and meeting Mahaprabhu. But Haridas Thakur, he stood at a very great distance. and he paid his Dandavat pranams on the road to Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu was asking, where is Haridas? Where is Haridas? They said, oh, Haridas is over there. He does not want to approach. Why Haridas would not approach? Because he felt himself so fallen and contaminated. He did not want to come because of this mood of humility. This is the mood of a very exalted, great Mahabhagavad Vaishnava, personal associate of Mahaprabhu. So that mood, Srila Gurudev was describing, we should emulate that mood. We can see Jagannath. We have Lord Jagannath in our own temple. That is Jagannath himself. I remember when I became a devotee at the age of 18 in 1970, my first deities were Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra. And I went on so many Rath Yatra festivals with my Guru Maharaj, Shilesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. We went on Rath Yatra. Jagannath came to us in the Western countries. So Jagannath is for all. He has come to all the devotees. Only here there is a custom that we cannot go inside the temple, but we should not feel bad because of this. Gurudev told us, and I've learned myself not to feel bad that I cannot go and see Jagannath inside the temple. Somehow this is the will of Lord Jagannath. But one thing that you should know is that the tradition here in Puri is very, very strict. And there's a whole group of priests that have come down in family tradition for thousands of years and generations. They're worshipping Jagannath Dev. Very special services that they do here to Jagannath. And whenever there is any decision that requires to be made here in Puri about changing anything, then all of these priests must come together, and there's very many elderly ones there also. And there must be a vote amongst them if there's going to be any change in this tradition. And actually they have to have 100% agreement, not 99% or less. So until that day comes, when there is 100% agreement, this rule will not be changed. Recently, I was informed that they had such a meeting and they discussed, should the foreigners be allowed in, because this is a new era in the world. Since 50 years ago, practically, now there are thousands and thousands and lakhs of Vaishnavas who are worshipping Gauranga Mahaprabhu, who are worshipping Jagannath, worshipping Radha and Krishna in all countries, China, India, Russia, America, Europe, Australia, Africa, everywhere. There are so many Vaishnavas. So it seems like the rule, it's time for that rule to change. So just for your information, almost all of the priests, almost all of them, they all agreed, yes, we should change that rule. But there were a few older ones who may leave their bodies very soon in the near future. They're very, very old, and they will not vote in favor of this. So that's the story. I just wanted everyone to hear this so their heart can feel calm and not feel any anger that we cannot go inside. Because this was demonstrated by Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, our highest acharyas, that they did not feel bad. But those who have taken birth here in India, I want you to know, even some of them are not allowed into the temple. And even some of them, they have to pass very strict rules. Some of the foreign, those who are Indian-bodied, but they live in foreign countries or they were born in foreign countries, sometimes they're also stopped from going into the temple. So they have many guards and many watchmen, and sometimes in the past, devotees have tried to sneak inside who are not Indian, but they look Indian. And on a few rare occasions, they've made it inside and had the darshan, but some have been caught. It's not a very pleasant thing if you're caught, and you'll have to pay a very big bribe so you don't get beaten severely by them. So they have their rules and regulations. So if you are confident that you can make it into the temple with your Indian-looking body, then please do so. But if not, remain with us. We'll do Mahasam Kirtan just as Gauranga Mahaprabhu did with all of his associates, circumambulating the Jagannath temple with wonderful kirtan, chanting Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath. Jai Jagannath, Jaya Jaya Jagannath. Jai Jagannath Swami ki jai. Shri Jagannath Puri Dham ki jai. Shri Jagannath Mandir ki jai. Shri Jagannath Parikrama ki jai. Gaur Premanande.